In the Bible, demons are presented as powerful yet ultimately limited beings, destined to face defeat. These creatures are angels who join Satan in his revolt against God, as mentioned in 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Revelation 12:3-4. The biblical portrayal provides a clear picture that challenges common myths about demons. In many popular culture references, demons are often seen as overwhelmingly powerful and nearly invincible forces of evil, capable of causing chaos without restraint. They are frequently depicted as figures of ultimate terror, with abilities that far exceed their biblical description. By contrast, the biblical account emphasizes that demons have strength but are bound by certain limitations and are already on a path to defeat. This view stands in stark contrast to the way they are often portrayed in popular media, where their threat is usually exaggerated and unchecked. This difference highlights a significant contrast between the biblical portrayal and the exaggerated fears often portrayed in movies, books, and other forms of entertainment. Understanding this distinction helps dispel the exaggerated fears and misunderstandings that have developed around demons in popular imagination. The Bible presents a multifaceted understanding of demons, offering insights into their nature, origins, and impact on both spiritual and physical realms. Demons, often referred to as unclean spirits or evil spirits, play significant roles throughout biblical texts. Understanding these entities requires examining various biblical references and contexts. In the Bible, demons are often labeled as unclean spirits or evil spirits, reflecting their malevolent nature. These terms emphasize their role in opposing God's will and causing harm to humans. The use of such descriptors highlights the spiritual impurity and moral corruption associated with these beings. The Bible also connects demons to false gods. In 2 Chronicles 11:15, "And he ordained him priest for the high places, and for the devils, and for the calves which he had made." The text mentions sacrifices to goat idols, suggesting a link between idolatry and demonic influence. Similarly, Deuteronomy 32:17, "They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not," refers to sacrifices made to demons, further associating these entities with false worship and spiritual corruption. These references underscore the belief that demons could manifest in or influence idol worship, leading people away from the one true God. The Bible often describes demons as fallen angels, beings that once held a position in heaven but rebelled against God. This rebellion resulted in their expulsion and subsequent existence as demonic entities. Despite their origins, demons possess power inferior to that of holy angels, as they operate within the constraints set by God. For instance, 6, "And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time." 7, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way." 2 Thessalonians 2:6-7 alludes to divine restraint on evil forces, suggesting that demons cannot act beyond the boundaries allowed by God. This limitation emphasizes the sovereignty of God over all spiritual forces. The influence of demons in biblical accounts often involves spiritual and physical afflictions. However, not all afflictions are directly attributed to demonic activity. In Matthew 10:1, "And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease." Jesus gives his disciples authority to drive out impure spirits and heal every disease, indicating that some ailments have purely physical origins and are not necessarily caused by demonic forces. Similarly, Luke 8:2, "And certain women which had been healed of evil spirits and infirmities, Mary called Magdalene, out of whom went 7 devils," describes women healed of evil spirits and diseases, implying a distinction between the two. This distinction is crucial for understanding the biblical perspective on suffering and healing. While demons can indeed cause significant harm, not every challenge or illness stems from their influence. This recognition calls for discernment when addressing issues of spiritual and physical well-being. To tailor this discussion for "Do demons exist?", it is important to consider the audience's background and the specific goals of the assignment. Whether for academic, religious, or cultural exploration, understanding the biblical portrayal of demons requires a thoughtful examination of Scripture, balanced with insights relevant to the intended audience. In summary, the Bible presents demons as powerful yet constrained beings, associated with spiritual impurity and false worship. While capable of causing affliction, their power is ultimately limited by God's sovereign will. Distinguishing between demonic influence and natural afflictions allows for a more nuanced understanding of their role in biblical narratives and human experiences. The concept of demons has fascinated people for centuries, shaping tales of fear, intrigue, and the supernatural. While popular culture often portrays these entities with vivid, terrifying imagery, the Bible presents a more understated view. This article will explore the contrast between these portrayals, focusing on the physical depiction, or lack thereof, of demons in the Bible compared to their more monstrous representations in modern media. In movies, television shows, and literature, demons are frequently imagined as monstrous beings with grotesque features. These portrayals draw from a mix of ancient mythologies, cultural stories, and artistic imagination. Often characterized by horns, claws, or even shadowy ghost-like forms, these representations are designed to evoke fear and emphasize their malevolent nature. These images have become deeply ingrained in popular culture, influencing how society views the idea of evil spirits. Contrary to these vivid images, the Bible offers a more subdued portrayal of demons. The Scriptures do not provide any specific physical description of fallen angels, often described simply as spiritual entities. This lack of detail suggests that demons are not confined to any single form or appearance. They are understood to be spiritual beings, which indicates they exist beyond our tangible perception. A passage that supports this idea is found in 2 Corinthians 11:14, which states, "And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light." This verse implies that demons, like their leader, might adopt appealing appearances to deceive and influence humans. Rather than terrifying creatures, they could present themselves in more subtle or attractive forms to achieve their aims. Historical texts, such as those from the early Christian period, discuss demons in more philosophical terms, focusing on their influence over human behavior rather than their physical form. Some scholars argue that the absence of specific descriptions in the Bible serves to highlight the spiritual nature of demons, contrasting the visible world with the unseen. Cultural influences over the centuries have led to a blend of Christian theology and local folklore, which has shaped the varied images of demons we see today. The contrast between the depiction of demons in popular culture and their portrayal in the Bible highlights a broader discussion about how societies interpret and visualize the concept of evil. While modern media often emphasizes fearsome, tangible forms, the Bible presents a more abstract, spiritual understanding of these entities. This difference underscores the complexity of interpreting ancient texts and how cultural imagination can transform these interpretations into vivid narratives. Ultimately, both perspectives contribute to the ongoing fascination with the supernatural and the mysteries that continue to captivate human curiosity. The concept of demons has fascinated people for centuries, influencing both religious texts and popular culture. In modern media, demons often take on monstrous forms, appearing as grotesque creatures or menacing shadows. However, these representations diverge significantly from how demons are addressed in the Bible. While Hollywood and literature often give demons tangible, frightening appearances, the Bible primarily describes them as spiritual entities without specific physical forms. In movies and television shows, demons frequently resemble nightmarish creatures, complete with horns, fangs, and wings. This imagery taps into our primal fears and serves as a visual shorthand for malevolent forces. For example, the Evil Dead franchise and various horror films present demons as terrifying, bloodthirsty beings. Similarly, novels like The Exorcist portray demons as possessing and corrupting human hosts, adding to their terrifying mystique. Contrastingly, the Bible's portrayal of demons is more abstract. Rather than focusing on physical descriptions, biblical texts emphasize their spiritual nature. According to Scripture, demons are fallen angels, entities that once held a higher status in the celestial hierarchy. The Bible does not assign them monstrous forms or ghostly presences. In fact, that 2 Corinthians 11:14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, suggests that even Satan can appear as an angel of light, implying that demons might choose an attractive or deceptive appearance to mislead humans. This idea of demons as shapeshifters aligns with the notion that they are not bound to a particular form. They are spiritual beings, capable of influencing the world in subtle ways. The lack of a defined appearance in the Bible suggests that their power lies more in their ability to manipulate and deceive rather than in physical terror. Other religious texts and interpretations also highlight this lack of a concrete form. For instance, the writings of early church theologians, such as Augustine, emphasize the non-corporeal nature of demons, viewing them as tempters rather than physical threats. This aligns with the biblical portrayal, which focuses on their spiritual impact rather than their appearance. Additionally, the transformation of demons into grotesque figures in popular culture may be seen as a reflection of human attempts to visualize and personify evil. This contrasts with the biblical view that evil is not always visible or tangible, making it a more insidious force. The portrayal of demons in popular culture often prioritizes dramatic and terrifying visuals, offering a stark contrast to their depiction in the Bible. While movies and literature emphasize monstrous forms and ghostly shadows, the Bible suggests demons are spiritual beings without a set appearance. The absence of a physical description highlights their ability to deceive and manipulate rather than simply frighten. Understanding this distinction offers a deeper insight into the nature of evil as presented in religious texts, encouraging reflection on how we perceive and interpret malevolence in both sacred and secular narratives.